And another fight we're going to have on BT in a couple of weeks is the Yarde Kovalev fight. I would say not a million miles away from Tyson going to fight Klitschko. In an aging champion going to their patch, going to their territory to take them on. I would guess, I've not looked at the bookies odds, but I would guess that Sergey Kovalev is the favourite for that fight. Do you think Yarde deserves a lot of credit for taking on that fight, and also how do you think he's going to do there?
He does, yeah. One thing with the difference between Klitschko and Tyson was that Klitschko was like 10 years unbeaten, you know. Kovalev has been beaten in recent times. But Yarde deserves a lot of credit, and I'm backing Anthony Yarde to win that fight. If I just put a... what's it when you're in Harry Potter when he puts the cloak on?
The invisibility cloak.
The invisibility cloak. If I made the opponent invisible and just watched Anthony Yarde when he was boxing, what he does fundamentally in his skill set is very, very good. And if he can take that into this level, he'll be successful. The only thing that I don't know about, not because I've seen something, it's just because I haven't seen it yet, is that the physicalities of Kovalev in terms of conditioning, the way he, should be able to hold a shot, the tempo and round management from his experience, the size, the power. Is to see how Anthony Yarde deals with those sides of things. The skill set alone, Anthony Yarde's a better fighter than Kovalev, I believe. From what I see, if he can take what he does, what he's been doing, into that fight. It's just the physical side of things that I see the only upset coming. I don't see him get majorly outboxed if, like I say, he can take what he's been doing into that fight. So it's an interesting fight, but I'm backing him to do it. I think he will do. I think that he's shown that he's got a pair of bollocks to go over there straight away. So that says to me that I don't think he's going to get there and flap unless he's just going for the money, but I don't think he would do that. So I'm backing him to do it. I think he'll do it, yeah.
And that's been the biggest criticism he's faced, really, isn't it? For his whole career. Everyone says you haven't fought anyone, it's been cherry-picked for you. There's been no point in... We all know full well, if you want to find a way out of a fight, someone will find a way out of a fight for you. At no point have they said, well, we're not going there. Even when the fight was just a rumour, they said they'd go.
I think he's up for the challenge. And sometimes you have to see, this is the problem where I may not agree with everything that Tunde says or does. I've got respect for him. I think he's a good trainer. Everybody's got their own philosophy. So I'm not going to agree with everything he says or does. He's not going to agree with everything that I say or do. He understands that boxing needs developing. A boxer needs developing. And there's no point saying you're not ready for that fight in terms of technically, or there's still weaknesses in your game, but let's chuck you in anyway. He's waited until he feels it's the right time for Anthony Yarde to take this step up, and nobody will know that better than him because he's with him every day. So he feels it's the right time, and I've got to respect that he understands that, and that's what he's been doing. You know, I'm sure he could have looked for a quick buck, thrown Anthony Yarde into a tougher fight for a little bit more money, drawn a few quid himself, and took the chance. But he wants the best for Anthony Yarde, I feel, because he's took his time, focused on the development of his boxer, and put him into the fight at the right time. I think they've done a fantastic job along with Frank and BT Sport with Anthony Yarde.